Twice in one show, Jon Stewart questioned support for Israel. But why not interview an Arab American and give their opinion, instead of interviewing another Zionist Jew?
Why can't anyone, this is always surprising me, why can't any American politician criticize Israel in any way for their behavior? I'm watching these shows, and there's not one person going, geez, it's kind of complex. Yeah, Hamas is a bad actor, they shouldn't be throwing missiles, but gosh, you know, the treatment of the Palestinian people maybe for the past 50 years, not so nice either. But you never hear that side of it.
I think that's a fair point. I don't think that, I think that...
It seems like it's a more complicated situation than is portrayed.
Well, but it's complicated in terms of the whole situation remains complicated. In this particular instance, there's very little love for Hamas. Not in America, not in Arab capitals. Abu Mazen, who leads Fatah on the West Bank, has criticized Hamas. There isn't a lot of admiration for Hamas's tactics or even their strategic vision throughout the Middle East and certainly in America. So in this case, when you've had Hamas attacking Israel with missiles for some time, it doesn't diminish the larger issue involved.
But that's across the board. You rarely see, I mean, this is the first incident in a cycle of all these things, but you almost never hear anybody say, hey, man, you know, the settlements or any of that kind of stuff. Nobody, is that really the third rail now of American politics?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And I do think that an Obama administration will put more pressure on the Israeli government than the Bush administration.
He's Muslim, so sure, he's going to go in there
no, but let me tell you something.
And say, let my people go, to some extent.
No, but I'm touching you. I don't know if that was okay. But look.
You are the tallest Jew I have ever met. I want you to know that. If I'm going to...
I'm not that much taller than you.
Please, don't... You're like the LeBron James of Jews. You are so the center of our Maccabeah team. All right, go ahead.
You know, settlement activity under the Bush administration, do you know from 2000 to 2007, settlement activity increased the population 45% in Israel. And that doesn't say anything about illegal outposts. So there's no question this was not an area where the Bush administration was pressuring the Israelis.
Well, and to Bush's mind, he was saying, before I leave, there will be a peace agreement between them. He said that was one of the things he wanted to do.
I think a lot of people thought that that was quite optimistic.
Is there anything else in this country that you believe he hasn't up that he could still do? He's got 2 weeks. It's like a bad movie trailer.
Look, I think it's striking at this point that with the economy in the shape it's in, he might sooner be vindicated on Iraq. I mean, there's a lot of up points on Iraq. You had Harry Reid sort of walking back his criticism of the Iraq policy, saying that it was lost, now saying it'll be for historians to judge. So he leaves under a very difficult cloud. But I think he believes, especially on Iraq, he'll be vindicated over time.
You're already a master. Look at you, dodging, bobbing, and weaving. Unbelievable. For a man that big to be that agile.
Thank you.
David Gregory!
And this was followed up by the Colbert Report, who interviewed another tool of Israel.
First of all, I want to congratulate you and the rest of the media on getting Obama elected. You must feel very proud.
If your point is that perhaps Barack Obama is in for a new world order, I think you are correct.
But are you going to go easy on him? Because people criticize the press, not me, but people criticize the press for going easy on Bush for like the first 5 years of his presidency. Isn't the best way to make up for that to go hammer and tongs after Obama from day one? No honeymoon. Shouldn't you do that?
We as an institution did make some mistakes. No question about it. In the lead up to the Iraq War, in the post 9/11 moment.
I don't think so.
We in the media did. I think his own party and the Democrats in Congress did. There was too many people got caught up in the post 9/11 patriotic mood and thought maybe we're not supposed to ask the critical questions of a president. I hope we ask those questions of any president, whether his name be George W. Bush or Barack Obama, and I hope we learn that lesson.
But if someone has to answer for the failures of the Bush administration, shouldn't that person be Barack Obama? Because they say the buck stops here, and the buck may have started on Bush's desk, but shouldn't it stop on Obama's desk? Bush could just leave it on the same desk, and Obama could find it on day one.
It is tradition that presidents leave a note for the man who takes their place. It would be very interesting to see what George W. Bush writes for Barack Obama.
Maybe it will be like a pictograph, a rebus. During the Bush years, Fox News was the one that got most of the favorable treatment, you might say, the exclusives with the Bush administration. Do you think CNN is in for that kind of favorable treatment under an Obama administration? Or is, MSNBC such an easy, slutty girl that Obama will go there every day?
I hope that we have fair and equal access to the new administration, but also get out in the country. One of the things I enjoyed most in this historic election year was not spending too much time on the candidate planes, but actually traveling a lot of places in America. Stephen are hurting. You know that. You talk about it on the show all the time. That people
I
are
talk
hurting.
about the little guy everywhere.
And the little guy deserves... The little guy deserves our attention as we watch the world from Washington and how this administration affects not only the United States but all around the world. We need to go to these little places where factories have closed down or are about to close down, or maybe where some people are making some new investments to bring them back, and see how people view the administration, not just how Washington. One of the mistakes we all make, reporters who work in Washington sometimes, is we talk as if we're talking at people instead of listening to them.
You shouldn't talk at people. You should yell at people. That's my rule. Well, John King, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
John King's new show on CNN Sunday mornings at 9 a.m.